So this is a workshop. It's going to have two parts. The first is we prepared the financial report for June. Everyone has that handout, and I will quickly review the highlights and then answer any questions you might have. So the first fund is general fund. So the total revenue is $609,750.59. The applicable budget is $608,871. So we're tracking right with the budget. Some good news is that Lee filed or sent the invoice for the DOT highway lighting grant, and it was for $47,284. The budget only had $31,500, so that'll come in, and that's going to help general fund revenue. Okay, so the total expenses on general fund, this is on page 3, is $782,973. The applicable budget's $593,23. So the general fund is over expended $192,650. A few reasons for that, and I've kind of itemized some of them. The legal expenses are running about $10,000 more than the budget. We are paying for 2 town managers. That's about $15,000. The trailer office has cost about $25,000. We paid the SCOP for engineers for the SCOP grant, $15,000. It'll be reimbursed. We had the street repairs is now paid, and that's about $54,000. And we paid for the CDBG admin $40,000. All that adds up to about $160,000. So 190 over. We can easily explain 160 of it, and there was some excess annual leave payout for the town clerk, and so we know why it's over. And the majority of those things that I mentioned are non-recurring and will be reimbursed, so it's not recurring. Okay, so the next fund is the enterprise fund, and that's on page 4. So the total revenue is $540,283. Applicable budget's $486,750. So we're positive $62,533. That's mainly because in this year we collected 2 years of the county grant for $45,000. We didn't get it for last year, so that beefs that up. The total expenses at this thing is $498,094. Budget $476, so that's tracking fairly closely. So in the enterprise fund, we're positive about $43,000. That's mainly because of the extra, you can explain that by the extra year grant money from the county. So any questions?
You said we paying for 2 town managers.
Okay, just Vanessa was on the payroll through July 10, and that's before that's before the severance package, and then Lee started earlier than that.
Okay, so since Vanessa is no longer here, can we just pay her out?
We're working on that, try to get it in this year's budget, so they won't be in next year's budget for that. Either taken out of this. So it might show over, or we may have to move some funds around to but we were talking about
budget.
I mean, insurance, whatever.
It's about $40,000 that we can take that out.
It's going to come out of your reserves.
Okay, that's fine.
And honestly, she was due 20 weeks of health insurance, right, but you really can't keep her on your insurance policy, right, so we just need to pay her equivalent of 20 weeks.
Okay.
So we got it all worked. How
much is that?
Altogether, it was like around $40,000, like everything.
The whole package.
Insurance, her time, all of that.
41,000.
Yeah, something like, it's in that range, yeah. And I have a schedule, I just don't have
But
it.
I still had a question about that, that I'd rather ask now instead of with everybody. The insurance is for full-time pay, right? Full-time employees is when we pay insurance?
Okay, so she has a contract that overrides all your policies. Because it's a contract that was approved by the then town council and written up by the town attorney at that time. And so in that contract, it says that it said that she would be due various things. She was supposed to be due a car that she never claimed. But anyway, she had a salary, she had retirement, she had health insurance, and that. And then there's a clause that says if she's terminated without cause, then she gets 240 hours of annual leave, 240 hours of sick leave. Up to that, her annual and sick leave exceeded that. Then she gets 20 weeks of health insurance, and then she gets 20 weeks of severance pay, and all that adds up to about 41,000. Okay. So now.
Actually, I have a question.
Yes, sure.
Hopefully I'm not just asking you to boil the ocean on impulse. What is our year end going to look like? We're going to hit the end of the year with a pretty significant budget deficit.
Yes.
So can you explain that to me?
Okay, so Florida statutes, if you overexpend the budget, you need to amend the budget. So Florida statutes allows you 2 months after year end to amend the budget. So what's going to happen, we'll prepare an amendment, and it's going to increase various line items of expense, significant line items, and the offset is going to be reserves. And that'd be that. Fortunately, you have reserves. You have about 900,000 in reserve, but you've had the street repair, you've had the new engine for the truck, you've had the trailer, you've had the excess legal expenses, and I'm sure lots.
So this will come out of her, basically mostly that it's going to come out the opera fund?
You can call them ARPA funds, but they're just reserved. But yes, that's where it's coming out of. And
I mean, the way it's set up with the bank.
yeah, I mean, it's going to come out of your cash reserves. The ARPA funds are part of the cash reserves. Yes.
I have another question. Why was the street repair put under the general fund instead of the enterprise fund if it's caused by a leaking?
Okay, so in the street, the law rule is that all street-related income has to be spent only on streets. So you built up a reserve of unspent street revenue of about $200,000. So that's part of your $1 million. So anytime you can use an expense to reduce that reserve, it's a good financial move, because you'd be building up. So it reduced, you had to pay it. It reduced that street reserve from 200 to 150, and it saved money in the enterprise fund. And kind of a good financial move is anytime you can use a reserve, anytime you can use a restricted reserve, you're better off than using an unrestricted reserve.
My only concern, if you want to call it a concern, from understanding our operations perspective, obviously this expense was a direct result of our business activities.
Mm-hmm.
So now this is 54,000. If we want to go back, we're not going to remember in 2 or 3 years what the hell this was about.
Mm-hmm.
But if it was put in the enterprise fund, we would know, hey, there's a $50,000 thing here. Oh, yeah, that was that. So just from like understanding our business operations, is there any way to take the local option fuel tax money and take a portion of that and add it to the enterprise fund, or is it just?
It has to be used on transportation.
Okay.
And that's just, and the town spent 54,000 anyway, and it came out of some money, and the most advantageous place to take it out of was that street reserve.
So let me ask this question. Gas tax, are they giving us the money on the population, or they still doing a percentage?
Okay, so the way that works, and I don't know, is that the county, Jennings, Jasper, and White Springs share in the gas tax money.
Right.
Okay, there is either an agreement that the cities and the counties make about what percent you get. The default that most of the counties are going to, they do a calculation of transportation expenditures for, I'm going to say 5 years, and whatever those percents are, that's what your share is. And I think that now that they've gone to that, but I'll check with Greg Goblin because I'm not sure. But what's happened is that most of the counties in our area that I'm familiar with kind of agreed on a percentage, and that was more generous than, because the county spends a lot of money on grading roads and paving roads and doing all that stuff. So I'm not sure what that percentage is, but I'll check with Greg and find out how they're doing it now, because he'll know. But most of the counties now are going to the based on transportation expenses, and the city shares are going down a lot.
County's find a way to get us.
Yeah, so, and I'm not saying that's how it is now. Okay, so kind of now we're in the trim process, and let me kind of tell you real quickly how that works. If you levy ad valorem taxes, okay, we're looking at this sheet. Now, if you levy ad valorem taxes, you have to follow the trim process, which is truth and millage. And there is an office in Department of Revenue that monitors this. And if you don't do everything exactly right, then they will make you rehold your budget hearings and do stuff like that, so we don't want to do that. Okay, so the two things we need to have you agree on, kind of as a consensus, is what will be the maximum millage rate and what will be your 2 budget hearing dates. So the first thing, the A up there, I have how much revenue you would collect at each. Okay, your current millage rate is 6 mills, which is kind of an average millage rate for small towns. How much you'd collect, and as you see, that your tax roll basically didn't grow at all, because if you keep the same millage rate, you'll only get $4,345 more than you collected this year. So you had basically 0 growth in your millage rate. And I have how much it would be up to, if you added up to a mill, up to 7 mills. If you added 1 mill, you'd get $29,893. The state publishes estimates, you call them official estimates, kind of on what your state revenues will be. And on the 3 major ones that they publish now, you're going to actually lose money. So those are extremely flat. So basically, if you keep the millage rate the same you're going to be at zero increase in revenue in the general fund. And so you don't have anything to fight inflation with, add new programs, and kind of in the budget anyway, in general fund, is basically balanced now. And so if you add anything new in, you're going to have to take something out. So having that, could you maybe kind of have a discussion on what you, at the 2 budget hearings, you can reduce the millage, you can't increase it. So for Lee and me, for me to help Lee do the budget, we need a millage rate to plug into the budget and to put into the trim system. So we'd like to kind of have maybe a discussion and consensus on a maximum millage rate.
Well, I was looking into millage not that long ago, and I'm going to exaggerate a little bit here. But the process for increasing it seems like about short of an act of God. Like you have to.
No, you not get reelected.
That's right.
That's gonna be a big impact on our community.
Yeah, I mean, well, it'll get people out to your meetings instead of having nobody here. It'll have people out.
Yeah, but we want people to come from positive, not.
Yeah.
We pay the highest.
All right. Well, I was just going to say we shouldn't increase the millage rate. That's my point.
Okay.
I think it probably should just remain the same. I know that it involves public notification and public hearings. It might include, but I don't remember.
Well,
some
you
sort
go
of
through
ballot
pretty much the
initiative.
same process.
Right.
You're not going to skip the process, but you're not going to run ads saying you're increasing their taxes.
One thing you'll have to show is that on the budget, that this budget will bring in $4,345 more than last year's budget.
Yeah.
Oh, so if we increase, it'll bring in more money
Right.
to
But
our
not
community.
much, but not
Yeah.
much, not enough to keep y'all in office. Yeah, because you don't want to increase taxes.
So that would be increasing everyone's property taxes, which is,
So
you
if-
saw what happened when they increased the water rate by
Yeah.
$10 a month. You know, it's,
Yeah, so just saying, and usually small towns have a lot of business, commercial stuff, and those are the people that pay the big part of it. But White Springs doesn't have much commercial. So anyway, I think what y'all are saying, that you'd rather just stick with the same millage rate and figure out the budget.
I think, I feel that way because I think that we find some in here that some expenses that maybe we won't have and maybe reduce. I think they got a 3% raise last year, all the employees did.
But they got actually a higher percent than that, because they got a nice adjustment.
Well, like I say, I mean, in view of everything, maybe you not give a raise or give minimum raise this year, and maybe somehow find a way to give them a Christmas bonus or something, you know?
well, I agree. We can increase taxes. We're going to have to cut some of the fat somewhere to
Yeah.
get our budget down to fight inflation.
Yeah, I see, yeah.
I know the excessive amount we pay the fire department for 20 hours a week of coverage is looking like a prime place
Do
for
they
that
do
to
20
happen.
hours?
Well, they're supposed to do
Supposed
20
to,
hours.
but
I
they
don't know
don't.
what they do.
They have 24 hours a day.
Okay, so I think you're saying that probably that you feel like keeping the millage rates the same, that'll keep everyone's taxes the same in White Springs. You know, I don't know what the county and school board.
Oh, if we can tax the county, let's go do that.
Can't do that.
No, they do a good job of that themselves. Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so probably you want to stay at 6 meals. Is that
I
what
would
you
suggest
said?
that.
Yes, I think that's
Okay.
what we need to do.
That's all we need. We need a consensus. Okay, so the next things is you have to have 2 public hearings, a tentative budget hearing and a final hearing. Now, you have various parameters for that, you can't have a hearing on the same date that the county or the school board has. You have to have a certain number of days between when you run your ads and when you have the final hearing, and papers don't publish every day in our area. So with all of that in using, I'm suggesting you have your first public hearing on 9/4/25. We run our budget ad on 9/13 and have our final hearing on 9/17. Now the time, and I'm saying, I work with 5 other cities, and so I have this big schedule that I do in September, so I'm not saying we can't find other dates that you can have it, but if you had other dates, I can't attend. And I kind of am responsible for making sure the exact correct things are said at the budget hearings and the minutes and all that. So having said that, if that
You said
will
we
work.
should run an ad on 9/13?
Yeah.
For what paper?
Okay, the one that works is Lake City Reporter.
So I don't know if this is just a quirk of their paper now, but they've removed, so they used to have like a map in the back and say, we proudly serve these counties. They removed Hamilton County from that.
But we, and we could figure out when some other paper, and I'd have to, you have to have the final hearing 2 to 5 days after the last hearing. So if
9/10 would be the Riverbend News.
so 9/10, let's see.
You have to submit by the 5th.
And is that the paper in the county, the only paper in the county that we have?
So we've been moved to something called the Live Oak Reporter, I believe. Don't quote me on this.
Riverbend.
Riverbend.
Well, yeah, Riverbend is their own thing, but like the Lake City Reporter, they
Okay.
publish on Thursdays, I believe, something called the Live Oak Reporter.
Oh, so all of them.
So now we're kind of jammed into that. So we can-
Okay.
Now, okay, so I don't care which paper we publish. We just So when does the Riverbend paper publish?
that would be 9/10.
Is it 9/10 or 9/11?
It's 9/10. It's the Wednesday.
Okay, is the date on it 9? You know, sometimes it's on Thursday, but
I get it in my mail on the 10th. So
Okay, so I'm good with that because I had the ad. Okay, so if our first one's 9/4,
you have to submit the 5th, though. Like that's the cutoff to get it in the paper by the 10th.
You have to do it by that Friday
Yeah.
before
Before
12.
closing. business or
9/4. I think we can do that. So,
But the thing is, you need to put it in both papers because a lot of people, White Springs, not dealing with the rest of Hamilton County, but the people in White Springs get Lake City Reporter and the Riverbend.
okay, by law, you just need to put it in one.
Yeah.
One is general circulation in the county.
Yeah. And so either one of those qualify. And honestly, I'd pick 9/10 because Lake City Reporter publishes Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So how about if we, first of all, okay, so we are going to, 9/10.
See, the argument would be is if you put it in just the Riverbend.
Okay.
A
So
lot of people
no.
don't buy Riverbend,
Okay, so we need to still run the paper on 9.
but that's the county's paper.
9/10.
Okay, okay,
It
so
doesn't matter. When
so
they see it
10,
in there, they'll
1,
get the
2,
word out.
3,
That's all we learn about is them getting the
5,
word out.
4. Okay, we can't run on 50. Okay, the problem with, okay, so let's see, 17.
You've got
17,
get your 16th to one of the other,
4, 5.
did the county have one on 16th? Is it 16th?
Okay, so we, if I'm going to attend the meeting, we could publish it on 9/17 in Riverbend. 3, and have our final hearing on 9/22. which is a Monday.
I won't be available that day, but you guys can just do it.
No, I think we need to have everybody here.
So if we keep these dates that we already
So
have,
if we keep these dates, we'll publish in Lake City.
and then you can still just, the main publishing can be in Lake City, but you can still do an additional publishing.
Well, the problem is,
how would that
because
work?
his ad's going to the state, you only want to publish one time. You don't want to do anything that the state would think is confusing, so if you try to go out and do something else, then they'll say, because I've worked with them and I'm not a genius, I've just worked with them for 25 years, and I know the people there, and they have a checklist, and you send in the ads and everything, so if I'm going to be here, I'd like the first hearing to be at 9:04, run the ad in the Lake City Reporter 9:13, and final hearing at 9:17. Are you going to be here at 9:17?
But it's, well, for the community itself, we could just post it.
Well, it'll be posted
On the website and then.
Now, I don't mind you posting it on the website, that's fine.
Put it on the website, and then after we, have a year, we can post the final budget in both papers. You know, I mean, that's,
Yeah, no, I don't mind doing something that's not the same ads as, because you could have an interview on
So
the,
just, let's keep that, because they have to be done by the end of September anyway.
yeah, and so,
And I
yeah.
wanna push it to the last,
No, because it works. And now in the times, let me tell you, the county holds their hearings like at 5:01. So I'm suggesting on 9:04, I'm open. So if you want to have it, on 9:04, we can have it any time, but I'm thinking early and get it over with, because everyone on the council doesn't like have a job they go to.
I have a job I go to.
Well,
I don't count.
I think you're the only one that works.
but you have some flexibility in your office hours, don't you?
Yes, as long as you're not talking 3-hour meetings.
No, it's my goal. It's my goal on these hearings. We're going to have everything. We're going to have workshops July and August. And these meetings, my goal is to have them last 10 minutes or less.
Okay, then yeah, I should be available.
Okay.
If you want a specific time, I'm gonna have to look at my calendar.
Okay. So, okay.
5:05 is fine.
So you're asking about September 4th? I'm wide open right now.
Okay, good. Okay, so now the final one is on a Wednesday. The reason I said 7 o'clock is I have to be at another city at 5 o'clock, and theirs will be over, and it's an hour and a half away. So is that okay to have on Wednesday at 7 p.m.? Does
That's
that
the final hearing.
final hearing? And it'll take 15 minutes at the most.
You think so?
I promise. I can almost promise, because everything that's going to be talked about and all that's going to be done in August at workshops.
Okay.
You won't have anything else?
Okay, that'd be
And we're not going to
fine.
railroad anything, we're just going to work out the budget at workshops.
So I should be wide open on the 17th, so.
17th, okay, now, and I'm just saying, some communities still, there's fewer, Wednesday night's church night. Is that an issue in White Springs?
Well, I know the church by me does Wednesday night
Yeah.
service.
We have it, but I can.
First Baptist really is the only one,
The
well,
Methodist Church don't have it? Not enough.
First Baptist and, White Springs Holiness Church right here on, Kenneth Hutchinson Memorial. Those are the only two churches that's really holding something on, Wednesday nights, but the one, the Holiness Church, most of them is from out of town, like living in the country and
Okay.
further
Well,
out.
If we can,
But this church right here,
You gotta let Ricky know, so we.
Yeah,
you
We
have-
have youth night and.
If we,
stuff on
if we work out the budget in August and advertise those meetings and let them come there, then they should have
Go to
already
the
been able.
workshop.
yeah.
They should have already been able to stand up and say what they want to say.
right.
Okay, all right.
Tell what time we having these meetings though?
Okay, so have there, okay,
The 4th.
on the 4th, we'll get that over at 5:05. And on the final, on 9/17, I'd like it at 7 p.m. Only because I've got to drive from Fanning to White Springs.
Okay, what about
There's,
9:10?
Okay, it's, okay.
9:10, we'll have it in 9:10.
Okay,
No.
that's just the ad.
Okay, we're running the ad 9:13.
9:13.
9:13.
Everything like was printed on paper.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to change that. So, okay, so the last item, I think you've to give Lee and me helping Lee some guidance, is there anything, and we really aren't talking about capital outlay or improvements, because we can talk about that as workshop. Is there anything in the operating budget you'd like to see changed?
Oh, yeah, hold on.
That you know of right now, and you might want to just do it at workshops, because Lee can pretty much do a budget that he thinks is a budget, and you can say, and we're kind of talking about public safety. Is there anything you want to see added and taken out or anything like that, or
Yes.
for Lee to look at?
Oh, yes.
Okay, well, we're here, you're here, so,
Fire department, X.
okay, so
Well,
you might.
we don't know what that actually gonna be until we have a chance to meet with the county.
Well-
And I don't think the county's gonna do it free for us.
No, they're not.
No, you were at the meeting, correct? When we went to Jasper with Simon and Show,
Oh, yes, I was.
and you were in Tallahassee.
Yeah, I
When
was there.
all the different county commissioners stood up. You were there. They said in Jasper, they were ready to take over and there would be no charge to the citizens.
So let's find out if they're gonna do it.
Okay.
I'm going to the meeting tonight.
Yeah, I'm trying to get there too.
Meeting tonight.
When I had been talking to them, when we first voted for me to do the emergency management, when I first met with EMS and the fire. We didn't discuss the fire because we didn't want to put Steve on the spot, but this has been the thing for the past year, but even before we got on the council, people have been asking about it because they don't respond. 2 deaths, no show from him or anybody else from our fire department. When these guys answer a call, they're answering calls from their full-time jobs with Columbia County, and we still were paying them because they answered the calls, but that was double dipping. So that's when they started, oh, they're gonna be there such and such a day, but they're never there. Very seldom do they come back. If we are giving them the building, the use of our equipment, we're not gonna charge them for the building. At least, I can't make that decision, but in my opinion, we don't charge the county to use our building because they need somewhere to come if they're gonna operate from here.
Yeah.
I don't see us paying them to come set up here
Okay.
if they're using our building, our trucks, and our equipment free of charge, and we're handling the utility bill.
Okay, so is it, and I'm a mechanical person, is it possible to get a proposal from the
We're
county
working on that
to
now.
White Springs that Lee can look at and we can at
Yeah,
least
that's
show
what I've been
you,
waiting on this,
here's the county's proposal, here's
Yeah.
White Springs doing it just like they're doing it, here's the financial difference, and
Right
And
now,
then you
we cannot
decide.
afford it. We have other things that are taking precedence.
Well,
They-
then, yeah. Oh, no.
I mean, if you go in there and tell them, oh yeah, we can pay, then they're gonna take the money and they're gonna, but if you tell them straight up, look, we can't afford it, but we need it. Either way, they're gonna have to provide the service one way or the other, just like with the sheriff department. If we call 911, they got to respond. But if we have a dedicated one, then they want X amount of money.
Yeah, you understand that. That's pretty
But-
much it, yeah.
If me with bargaining is, I like to argue, so y'all know this.
No, we're not.
I
No, I hadn't. Is
Listen,
that right?
I
My God.
debate. I was a champion at debating.
Yeah,
But if we are going to offer them, they're offering us a service, they're providing a body to our building. A body whom they are already paying. They want to come here. And in the beginning, it was their suggestion, not ours. It was their suggestion in the very beginning to operate in that manner. We have people here from the previous fire department that the previous council fired that are still willing to volunteer. There is this, we have a lot to offer them besides money. You're offering them a location where they will be able to go throughout the
They
south
have a
end of
nice-
the county.
you have a nice
We're
fire
paying,
department.
we're offering them, if our utility bill is $6,000-7,000 a month for that building, because right now Steve says it's about $3,000 a month, $2,000 to $3,000 a month. In a 12-month period, if they're gonna be there 24/7, then it's gonna almost double that. So we're gonna pay about $7,000 a month, maybe, which is gonna end up being around $80,000-90,000 a year that we're gonna pay for them to be here. So that's our contribution to the county.
You pay a lot of insurance too on your building there.
So-
Okay, so all we need, and I'm sure Lee's working on it, is a proposal. The county's saying, we'll do this and we won't charge you, but you pay all the expenses.
Right, we don't
know
have to
what the
lease the building
expenses
to
are.
them or
So
anything.
do we pay millage to the county?
Yes.
The owners? So
And the
that
school board.
obligates them to provide us with certain services.
You're exactly
Do we
right.
know
Saying
if
you
fire is one of those services?
Yeah,
Okay, so the county, if
Public
you call
safety.
911, the county's gonna respond to your fire, to your EMS, or to your, someone breaking in your house. The county's gonna respond because they have to. Because the county has a fire department, don't they? Yeah, they have, okay, so but obviously the response time might not be, as quick, obviously wouldn't be as quick as if you had the people here. And so, but you pay millage to the county that pays for the, does the county have a fire assessment?
I think so.
Okay.
You pay the same as any county resident pays county taxes. You pay more because you're in the city. You pay the 6 mil that we were talking about. That's city. That don't go to the county. That's city. But whatever, if it's 10 mils in the county, you pay 10 mils. Y'all pay 10 mils to the county just like everybody else. So you're no different than any other citizen just because you're inside municipal. And that's what a lot of cities counties don't understand. They think you're there, but you pay more taxes by being in a
the town.
city. Yeah. But I'm going to the meeting tonight, and I'm hoping that because the last time I talked to Landon Greg, the county coordinator, they will try to get with the attorney and see what's going on. I have not heard back, but I'll talk to them tonight and find out where we stand on that.
That's a big part of your
right,
budget.
because when I spoke with him,
Yeah.
it was, first one, we still been waiting on the MOUs for EMS. But he was saying something about they had to go before the board or whatever, so. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know if this is a budget issue or just whatever, but we have to seriously start thinking about all the blighted properties around town. So I don't
All
know
the
if
what?
that's blighted properties.
That's a more or less a code enforcement, and We got to find out what we're gonna do about code enforcement.
Okay, so we're not at a point yet where we'd start.
No,
budgeting.
I'm working on one. I'm working on one property.
We need to, like I said, we got a lot that need some tender loving care.
Yeah, well, there's like, when you pull in right in town, there's the one that's just basically a big pile of cinder blocks. Like, that's gotta get fixed, it's gotta get cleaned up. And I know in the charter, it has us, the town council,
Okay.
being responsible for stuff like that. So we gotta,
And,
When you coming from Lake City,
yeah, when you come up 41.
with Barfield, where the shop is at.
Oh, I'm working on that one too.
I'm working.
She's selling it, and the price is high for that area. That price is high for anyway, but for that little spot of land, but she doesn't want to clean it.
Well, I could get somebody to clean it, but I handle that. I've been talking to Bernal on that.
Well, unless they want us eminent domaining their property, like,
Well, no,
at
we're
some
not gonna
point,
do that.
something's gotta happen.
No, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna work with them.
That's a billboard for our town. You come into our town and the first thing
Yeah.
you see is a completely destroyed house.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk
Well, it
to.
wasn't a house.
No, it was a club.
Yeah, it used to be a
It
little
was to be a club.
But code enforcement is on the list, and it is, we've got so many.
Got a big list.
I tell you, but, that's what the
For
first time I
us,
saw
if
back
we
in
do get
town.
a code enforcement officer again here,
Well, an actual officer on our payroll would be extremely expensive.
No.
Even for a part-timer.
no, it was not.
No, because the one we had, we only paid them $200.
We've had one that was qualified by the state, certified by the state. It's not like it's a whole bunch for them to do.
No.
It's certain properties that need to be attended to, yes. But I know it's something in our charter, something that says, well, we have to do code enforcement.
What is it, Majesty? We have to.
You
Magistrate.
can have a magistrate, but you.
The magistrate, yeah.
Yeah, magistrate.
That, in most cases, in small town, like, more headaches and it's probably, it gets you.
And I'm gonna tell you, just like I tell everybody else, this is White Springs. Everybody don't have a lot of land, and whatever they have, that's like they space.
And they really don't have a lot of money. We're the poorest county in the state.
Don't have a lot of money.
Gaston County is.
Oh, well, but Gaston County got way more than we got here.
Gaston
Gaston County is way larger than we
larger,
are.
but, if per capita, it's,
Well, see, that's for capital. I'm looking at,
She came from the lives there, so.
well, we are one of the poor.
oh, I know, yeah,
And the people here do not, we don't
They've been
have
living like this for so long.
This, I know
It's
this,
hard to get them to understand how you got to do this, you got to do that, and it's
You can't
so
just-
hard to get them
Yeah.
to do it. But just give them some time, they'll get it together.
that's one of my pet peeves is the blighted houses and torn down and trash and junk and.
because I know like the one Stacy, her house burned down, it hasn't even been a year yet. She's been trying to get it clean, but she's had these other factors that have come up. She'll go cut the grass around it, but as a single parent with 1, 2, 3, she had 4 kids, one passed away not too long ago. It's hard for her to get someone to get in and clean it when she doesn't have the money for it.
Okay, so fire and EMS and code enforcement, that's
Yeah,
really not.
because we're kind of doing, okay, so Lee and I'll kind of work out a draft budget and then we'll have maybe 2 to 3 workshops between the end of July and August. We'll do that and then we'll have the budget all figured out by August.
One more question I want to ask as far as with the budget and personnel. If we eliminate one of the office positions and split the responsibilities in between the two that's there, that would save about $30,000-$40,000 also, right?
It would.
We just have to be aware if that position we eliminate is the town clerk.
No.
That's in the
See,
charter.
the thing is, he can, as a town manager, he can either create a position or delete a position.
And I think that bookkeeping position need to go. We never had no bookkeeping.
Yeah, we did. That's what Pam Tomlinson was in the
Pam
beginning.
Tomlinson was a financial director. She
That's
was
what they-
never a bookkeeper.
That's what they moved her up to.
Pam
But in-
Tomlinson ain't never been no
Tomlin-
bookkeeper,
yeah.
no ma'am. Pam Tomlinson was hired to be a financial director.
Why would we need a financial director?
That's what
if
she
we had.
Well, if you got a clerk or accounting specialist, somebody that, as long as we're gonna be able to keep working with Bridget, I don't see a need for a finance director. If we, like I told you before, I think that the two girls in the office can, I think we can handle what we
Just
need
change
to
the
do.
name of the position.
But, and you kind of, you know, you have some, I'll be your lawyer for a second. You have some positions that are mentioned in the charter, but the town manager decides what the positions are and recommends how much they make. And
Okay,
and
we
so-
got to have a clerk. Then you have two well-qualified people that's already there who have basically been handling.
I think that's what Lee's
Everything.
saying. I
I
think that's kind
I
of what
think
he's
we
saying.
can work with what we got. It's just taking a little time and, like I say.
Well, yeah, you just got to figure out how you're gonna do it and what you're
I
gonna do.
feel like
But
that,
that's still
and, like I
a
said the other
position that
night,
can be eliminated.
I don't think that if we work it out, based, and it may change when we get back in City Hall, but right now, based on the walk-up people that come in to be serviced, it don't require two full-time people there all the time. I think we could split some of those hours, as long as we got one person in City Hall from 8 to 5. That's what I'm looking at right now.
But Lee, most
there's
people,
times around when do bills are coming in, you need it. But there's times when.
But see, people don't come now because that trail is.
yeah, people hate coming to that trail.
And it may change my mind when I get to City Hall.
It definitely will change your mind because you're gonna have people.
But I
But
still
most
think-
people drop their bills off in the front of town hall in the slot. They don't like coming to this
well,
trail.
I know that, but I still feel the three of us in City Hall can take care of things.
And so
I may
that
change
frees
my
up,
mind, but I
that
think.
frees up.
Well, no, I'm
Well, I think
I agree
I
with
think
them,
they-
we can do it because they still.
I feel like they
want
making too much money.
Well, if we.
No, they don't.
Yes, they are too.
Girl, I got paid more in Fort White than what Tanika them getting paid here. They only get like $15 an hour.
Now,
I got that as a starting salary in Fort White as assistant clerk,
if we, do that
which is
now,
what I did in Fort White, what Audrey did. And I got paid more in Fort White than Tanika and Audrey was getting paid. Because when I got up, they would get paid, I'm like, Audrey's only get like $1 more than me.
just remember if we go like y'all want from 8 to 5, there's some benefits that's got to be added to their salaries that they're not getting now.
Right,
So-
but that'll be covered because we're gonna eliminate one of the positions.
Well,
correct?
it probably, but we, like I said, this is my first budget working on the budget.
Right.
We'll get it here and we'll.
And you're giving some input, and that's
Right,
good.
right.
So, but the town manager's gonna present a budget at a workshop, and we'll talk about it, and we'll know about the county. Then you'll say, let's do this and do that, and you'll come back.
Right.
And you can't go down on that, and that's basically what they're getting now
Yeah.
for the positions that they have. We can't go down on their pay, you can only go up.
Right.
Yeah. No, the staff was really, I thought, underpaid last year, so they got like a healthy adjustment this year, but there's no one making 40,000 of the two ladies, and when three ladies, they're close to 40, but you know, if the minimum wage is about 31, 32, so, and I told people that people at McDonald's can't do their job here, making 15, but these people could go to McDonald's. So you need to pay more than minimum wage.
I got two other things. If we can work it in the budget, would y'all okay a 2% raise for the employee if we can work it out okay for this year? Because they got a good one last year. I think the CPI is about 3 point something so far. So.
You mean the entire staff or?
Well, we don't have that many. We don't have what,
You don't have a 5, you got.
They got about three inside.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people.
3 or 4.
So we're talking about.
Yeah, you don't have many people.
So but like I say, that's one, you know.
Oh, well, I think they earned that.
Oh, they
and then
earn more than that.
Because
They earn more than that, but in the situation we're in, I would say recommend a minimum
still
of
have,
2%. Yeah. And then had 2 firemen resign this morning. 2 of the 5 volunteer firemen we had.
They're not volunteer, they pay.
Well, paid, but they paid
Part-time.
So that means Steve's getting ready to quit.
No, Steve's here with us, and they got, that leaves them 3 right now. But there's all the bad mouthing they've gotten and so forth. They listen to the council meetings and see people talking and so forth. But again, we work something with the fire department. We have something of urgent we got to get done. So.
I don't know, I just have no confidence in them whatsoever.
Well,
So I have a hard stop in 4 minutes. So
I think we're good. I think you get what we got to move on.
Yeah, everything else can be worked out in the workshop.
Okay.
all right, so are we adjourned? Can I turn off?
Adjourned, yeah.
Here's some extra reports to give anyone that wants some.